Greetings, I am Herbert Erpaderp, and today I'm going to build some furniture. Not from Ikea though, from Rubicon. Specifically, their domestic furniture set, which is, as you might assume, a set of furniture in 28mm scale that can be used for decorating your wargaming terrain, or for making dioramas and what have you. The back of the box is a bit different to the usual Rubicon box. It's got a sprue diagram, with the various bits on the sprues in what I'm assuming to be suggested colours. Or maybe that's just so you know which bits go with which other bits. There are also assembly instructions which are quite simple, probably because this stuff is very simple to put together. The instructions are here because there isn't a set inside. Inside the box, we find two identical sprues. These are the usual high-quality plastic sprues you would expect from a Rubicon kit. The moulding is nice, neat and crisp, and I couldn't identify any defects or errors. And there are barely any mould lines. About the only cleanup I had to do was where I'd clipped the parts off the sprue. So if you're really neat with your clippers, you could get away with almost no cleanup at all. Not none, but very little. I don't think this furniture is modelled on any specific furniture. I mean, furniture is so varied. Is there such a thing as furniture rivet counters? I have no idea, but probably. Anyway, this stuff all looks rather good, and the things look like the things they're meant to be. So let's get right into gluing together bits of plastic. I start with the wardrobe, because why not? I like that this has a little box inside. Maybe that's a treasure chest or something. It's probably just for clothes, Herbert! Don't ruin my fun. Anyway, the first thing to do is glue the front into place, and this is shaped such that it should be pretty hard to do it wrong. A little pressure, and it's on. If you want to be really creative, you could add some clothing hanging inside of this using, I don't know, tissue paper or green stuff or something. I've obviously not done this, but it is something you could do. The doors go on next, and here's where we've got a choice to make. You can model these open or closed. You could model them both open or one open and one closed, or any combination you like, even half open. Ooh. I like the mirror on the inside of this door, so I've left it open and the other one closed, as you can see. You do get one of these on each sprue, obviously because they're identical. So I decided to build the second one closed. And we've got a nice, simple piece of furniture completed. Next, a little cupboard thing with some drawers. These don't open, and assembly is a simple matter of gluing the two halves of it together, like so. It's not bad, but I do think it would be kind of cool if you could model the drawers and doors open, but I'm fine with how it is. Now it's time for one of the tables. I guess this one is more like a dining table. You can see there's some keying here, which helps you get the legs on nice and neatly. I appreciate this. I mean, who wants to spend precious moments eyeballing the positioning of table legs? It's also nice that the keying is the same for either end. It makes it very easy to put this together. I mean, we weren't really expecting a challenge, but it's nice that they make it easier. And again, because there are two sprues, we get two tables. So, you can table while you table, dog. Why not build the chairs that go with that table next? This is another simple two-part assembly. I put glue in the slot and on the leg support bits, and then press the two parts together. What could be more simple? A single part? Well, yeah, I guess so, but this is pretty simple. There are 8 of these in total, but at this point I've only built 2, just so you can see how they might look with the table. Now, all you need is some dinner, and after dinner, you might be a bit tired. So, let's make a bed. This has similar keying to the dining table, which makes it nice and easy. You don't even need to worry about which end you place the head or foot of the bed. The keying is the same for both. Whoever made this bed has made it very tight, or it's just a very smooth mattress. It doesn't look that comfortable, but I figure you could make your own sheets and blankets and make it look a bit more convincing. You could either soak some tissue in PVA glue or use some putty or some other method. There is a pillow, which does improve the look a little bit, and the instructions say that this can be placed anywhere on the bed. Such freedom. I decided that somewhere near the head of the bed was the best place for this. It is a very simple bed, but there's nothing wrong with that, and it is better than the floor. Next, another table. This one is more of an outdoors item, I would say, more for a cafe than a domestic setting, but I guess that's not really important. The legs are slightly more tricky than those of the dining table, which doesn't really say much because they're quite simple. There are 2 components that form 3 legs, like so. You might find you need to apply a bit of pressure at the foot end to make sure the legs stay together. Nothing too challenging though. They're not super stable, so if you bump them they'll probably fall over, but that's really for the diners at the cafe to worry about, isn't it? To go with those, we've got some chairs. I would say that these are even easier to put together than the previous chairs. You get 12 of these in the box, which is good if you're looking to open a cafe. They also look good. They've got a little pattern on them, which is nice, though I do think the tables should have a similar pattern. Usually when I see this kind of table and chair set, they have matching patterns. Of course, that's not a huge complaint, and they do the job well enough. And that's all the furniture we get in this kit. It's not quite enough to furnish an entire house, really, but it's close, and for wargaming terrain use it's probably more than enough. I suspect a lot of these might be used in depictions of ruined homes, and these pieces would work well for that. You could even add your own damage to them. There's really a lot you could do with this set. I suspect a lot of wargamers don't go so far as to decorate the interiors of their houses and such, but it is nice that there's an option to do so without any scratch building. I do think these would work well alongside some scratch-built stuff, and they definitely make a good basis for some modifications to make them look a bit more convincing, like as I mentioned earlier, making your own bed sheets, neat or messy. I feel like this furniture is probably pretty versatile in terms of eras that you could use it for. Some of it, well, probably all of it actually, is a bit neat and tidy for medieval stuff, I guess, but I think it would be at home from, say, maybe World War I to World War II, all the way up to something more modern. And the pieces are vague enough that they don't depict a specific time or region, which I think is a good thing. Anyway, there's not much else to say about this. It's good furniture, though I probably wouldn't sit on the chairs myself, and it was quicker and easier to put together than Ikea furniture. I give it 3 thumbs up. If you've got any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the comment section below. If you want to watch me build kits like this one live on stream, head on over to my Twitch channel, which is where I stream. The link is in the description below, and if you've not already done so, why not subscribe here on YouTube for 3 installments of the low price of absolutely nothing. Or if you've got the means, and you want to help a Herbert Erpaderp do Herbert Erpaderp things, like build tiny bits of furniture, and see my videos a bit early, consider becoming a patron. You can find links to Patreon, and all of my other things like Discord and social media, in the description below. And as always, I shall return soon. So until then, be excellent to each other, have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching. Farewell.